Did you know that sometimes we need help?
And Jesus wants to help.
That's right, my name is Buckle.
And my name's Isla.
And welcome to The Link Show. Hello everybody, it's so nice to have you back with us for week 2 of this last term. We're getting closer to Christmas, but we need to let you know everything that's coming up today on The Link Show.
First up, we're doing a really cool craft.
I know, I can't wait to get into this one today. It's going to be fun. After that, we're going to be taking a look at your arts and crafts from last week. I've already taken a look at some of them. They're really, really good.
After that, we've got today's animated Bible story.
That's right, and make sure you're paying attention because right at the end, we've got today's Bible quiz. But what we're going to do, we're going to get started on the craft, which we're going to have to show you a picture of later, but this is what the craft looks like here. And while we get started, how about you go check out Preach Part 1. Okay, have you ever been in a crazy mirror house? So you go into those rooms or those adventure parks where there's all sorts of different mirrors. There's the mirrors that are bent one way that make you look really tall. Then there's different mirrors that make you look really short. Then there's other mirrors that make you look like this. And then other ones that make you look like a circle. And everything looks strange as you walk through the rooms. Now, I remember one time I went into a maze inside of this adventure park that was made out of mirrors. And so you would walk in and you would have to try to find your way through the maze going via all of these weird and wacky mirrors. And it was so confusing because you wouldn't just see the reflection of yourself in the mirror in front of you, you would then see the reflection of other mirrors bouncing around, and it was so hard to figure out where to go because you couldn't see properly. You weren't able to properly see where you were trying to go. And I got about partway through this maze until I got lost. I hit a dead end and then I turned around and went backwards and I couldn't find my way out. I was lost. And so I started getting a little bit nervous. I started becoming a little bit afraid until all of a sudden I heard someone call out, and it was one of our teachers. The teacher called out, "Does anybody need help?" And I remember straight away I called out, "Yes, I need help. I am lost." And so the teacher made their way to me in the maze and they were able to grab my hand so I felt safe, and they led me out of the maze the correct way. Now, I remember in that moment, because I wasn't able to see properly, I wasn't able to work out where I was, I found it really difficult to make my own way to where I wanted to be, to where I was trying to go. But as soon as I called out for help, as soon as I asked for help, my teacher was right there, ready to help me get out of the maze. You see, sometimes we can go through life where we feel like we don't know where we're meant to go, or we can't see where we're meant to go. We can't see the answer. We can't see the end, and we feel like we're lost and trapped in the middle of life. It can even feel like you're blind. I know for me when I was younger, sometimes that would look like trying to make friends. I couldn't see how to make friends well. Maybe for you it might be making friends, maybe it might be trying to play in a sporting team that you don't know whether you're able to make it, maybe it's dance, maybe it's drama, whatever it is. We can find ourselves in these moments where we can't see where we're meant to go. We can't see what we're meant to do next. And we have two options. Do we just sit there quietly, not sure what to do, or are we willing to accept the help of the people around us that are there to help? And so a little later on, we're actually going to take a look at a story in the Bible of a man who was actually blind. He had been blind his whole life. That just means his eyes didn't work. He couldn't see. And so for his whole life, he had never seen the sun. He hadn't seen flowers. He hadn't even seen the faces of his friends and family. But what happened was he had an encounter with Jesus. We're going to find out what happened in that moment, and we're going to learn a little later on how we can get help from the people that we trust, and that Jesus wants to help us as well. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. Welcome back everybody. We love our craft. Here it is. We've got a photo of it to show you now. It's on the screen. I'm pretty impressed with what we did. We worked together on this one. But what I want to do now is have a look at everything that you've sent through, all of your arts and crafts. So let's go take a look.
Welcome back. You guys are so talented. I love seeing them all. But right now, let's go check out today's animated Bible story.
Say hello to Jesus, the Son of God, the Savior of the world.
And while Jesus was here on earth, he would travel teaching people about God's love and healing the sick. One day, while Jesus was walking through a town, he saw a man who was blind his whole life. The man had never seen the sun, the flowers, or even the faces of his friends. And Jesus knew that this man needed help. And so Jesus went to him. He bent down, picked up some dirt, and made mud. Then, gently, Jesus placed the mud across the man's eyes. It was a bit strange, but the man trusted Jesus. Jesus then said to the blind man, "Go and wash your eyes." And so the man listened and obeyed. He did exactly what Jesus said. And as he washed the mud from his eyes, something incredible happened. He blinked, and suddenly he could see. This man who had never seen in his whole life was now able to see for the first time. He ran back and told everybody the amazing news that Jesus had healed him.
I love this story so much because this man, like we said earlier, he's been blind his whole life. He's never been able to see, not flowers, not shooting stars, not his friends or family. But Jesus comes up to him and Jesus sees that this man needs help. But this man could have said, "No, Jesus, I don't need your help. I'm totally fine. Leave me alone." And he would have been left there on the side of the road, blind. But instead he makes the choice that no matter what Jesus does, I trust him. And Jesus does something pretty weird. He makes mud. He puts the mud across the man's eyes. That is so strange. And the man could have said, "Stop." If the man had have said no to Jesus, he wouldn't have been healed. But he made a decision. He thought, no matter what Jesus is doing, I know that he's here to help me. And so I will trust what he does and I'll obey what he says. And so Jesus makes the mud, he puts it across the man's eyes and tells the man to go wash the mud off. That's so weird. Why would you put the mud on just to wash it off again? But the man doesn't complain. Again, he obeys. He goes to the water and washes his eyes. And then that's when the miracle happened. His eyes were opened and he was able to see for the very first time. You see, sometimes the way Jesus helps us can seem a little strange. We can feel awkward and maybe we just want Jesus to appear in front of us and fix our problems. But Jesus doesn't usually help us that way. He helps us in different ways. Maybe you're struggling to make friends, or maybe the way Jesus is going to help you is by sending somebody else that's also struggling to make friends, and then the two of you can become good friends. Maybe the way that Jesus helps you get into a sporting team or to do dance isn't by just making you good all of a sudden magically, but by giving you the opportunity to practice, to become better at it. Maybe for your school grades, you're struggling to get the right answers at school. Maybe the way Jesus wants to help you isn't by downloading mathematics into your brain, but instead by helping you meet people that want to help you on your journey. You see, we don't always understand the way that Jesus helps us, but what we can always trust is that Jesus is there to help us, and that if we trust and obey what he says, he will help us. And so that's where we have to make a choice. Are you going to trust and obey what Jesus says so that he can help us? Or are we going to think that we know better ourselves? I know for me, I'm always going to listen to what Jesus says because I know that Jesus is always there to help me. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for my favorite bit, the Bible quiz. I hope you're paying attention. The way it's going to work is we're going to ask you some questions and give you two possible answers. If you think the first answer is correct, put your hands on your
head.
If you think the second answer is correct, put your hands on your
shoulders.
Here we go with question number 1. In today's Bible story, Jesus met a man that needed help. What was wrong with the man? Was he blind or was he not able to walk? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, what's the answer?
Was he blind?
He was blind, so hands on head. He wasn't able to see. Okay, question number 2. Jesus went to the man to help him because he wanted to help, and so he made something weird. He did something strange. What did he make? Did he make spaghetti bolognese? Or did he make some mud? You've got 5 seconds. Isla, what do you think the answer is?
Did he make mud?
He did make some mud. It's a little bit strange. And the story got a little bit stranger with question 3. What did Jesus do with that mud? Did he throw it into the sky? Or did he put it across the man's eyes? You've got 5 seconds. Isla, what's the answer?
Did he put it across the eye?
That's correct. Jesus put some of the mud across the man's eyes. Okay, question number 4. What did Jesus tell the man to go and do? Did he say, go wash the mud off your eyes? Or did he say, go and get dressed? You've got 5 seconds. Isla, what's the answer?
Go wash the mud off your eyes.
That's right. He said, go wash the mud off your eyes. And so the man obeyed and he did what Jesus said, went and washed the mud off, and something amazing happened, which is question number 5. Was the man able to fly? Or did Jesus heal the man's eyes so that he could see it? You've got 5 seconds. Isla, what do you think the answer is?
Could he see again?
Jesus healed the man's eyes and he could see. That's right. And I love that we learned today that Jesus wants to help us, but we have to trust that Jesus knows what he is doing.
Because Jesus loves to help us.
That's right. My name is Buckle.
And I'm Isla.
And we'll see you next week on The Link Show. Bye.